Oh, well, listen, as the third month for 2018 comes to a close, it's time for us to highlight a small local business making waves. And this time for the Expresso startup, we're going to focus on a Cape Town-based company that is shaking things up in the world of property rentals. Think of it as a Tinder for rentals.
Literally 1 in 3 people on the planet rent. And they're all doing it like it's 1999. And so we wanted to find a better way to find properties and to apply for them, and then ultimately to improve the whole rental experience.
We are Ekaya. Ekaya is a tool that works for tenants, landlords and agents to help make the rental process more transparent and fairer on all parties involved.
So Ekaya's service works by connecting people who are looking for property or people who rent with people who have property or are looking for tenants. We built a space where the two can connect with one another, both in the search and discovery phase, in the verification phase, and all the way through to the payments, actually living in the property phase.
We have a couple of products. We have Ekaya VIP, which is a verification tool that allows tenants to create a secure profile and share it with agents and landlords in the rental application process, and then allows them to control that data so that when the process is over, they can pull their data back and know that they're in control of their private data. We also have a Ekaya IV product, which is a search and discovery tool, which allows tenants to put their requirements into the app and have our system automatically update them in a really easy to use interface, and sort of swipe left on properties you don't like, swipe right on properties you do, and then use that list to communicate directly with the property managers.
Normally when payments are made, it's tenant to landlord, but then the landlord has to pay electricity, body corporate, what have you. And what we've done is make sure that every single payment is tracked, every single payment is correct, and we do our best to ensure that the payments arrive on time and get paid fully. Our ambition is to become the platform globally that stands for that quality and transparent experience between property owner and tenant, and to be that sort of platform that connects people who rent.
Oh, very, very interesting. And now joining us to give us some more insight into the business of Ekaya is our startup expert, Steve Fortuin. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning. Good to be here.
Good to have you on the show. It's been a while. Lekker.
It's been a month.
So, Steve, let's talk about Ekaya. It raised 5 million rand in investor funding from very well-known South African investors. Now, this is for an app that you can download for free from the App Store. What exactly was it that made it so successful?
I think the true test of any business is how many users actually use or consume your product and service, and then thereafter, how many of those users then come back.
Yeah.
And we're not even talking about money yet. It's basically as simple as that. Ekaya has managed to understand that dynamic extremely well. They've got something like 35,000 searches on their site. That's and that's per month. 35,000 people who are coming back to use their service.
That's awesome.
And that's an investable business at the end of the day.
That's very, very interesting. Now, every month when you come here for the Expresso startup segments, you always bring us these cool insights as to what goes on. And you often see people on laptops, you see, cool office spaces. But what really goes on behind the scenes that people don't see that really makes these startups such a success?
I think you're not seeing the hustle, you're not seeing the drive, you're not seeing the determination and the late nights spent by kind of the entire team. It's as you know, in startup businesses, you don't have a marketing and a finance and an HR and all these various departments. You've literally got one person doing everything. So I like to relate it to like trying to build a plane while you're in flight with customers on board. Incredibly scary process, and this is just all that goes on in the background to try and get this thing up and running. Then you get a number like 5 million, and you kind of think, well, hey, we've done it. But the 5 million itself comes with a hefty set of conditions that have got to be met. So one moment you're trying to grow the business to a stage where it makes money, and the next moment you're trying to satisfy the conditions of the money that you've taken. So it's extremely like a hustle kind of process to get it going.
Now, talking about the hustle, I'm sure there are people that are watching right now that are inspired by what Ekaya's done and really want to see the road ahead for them, but want to have lessons or rather, kind of information on how they can do it too. Where can they go to get insight on how they can do something similar?
So I think in the past month, I must have sat down with 20 to 30 founders of businesses, tech businesses on all shapes and sizes across South Africa. And I've been understanding the business of business with these guys, and I've packaged it in a podcast series called Startup Circle. So you can go ahead onto SoundCloud, search for Startup Circle South Africa, and you'll find what these guys who started off very small, successful businesses who are now successful have done, be it product development or marketing, or how they've kept themselves motivated, how they've led a team. often you don't have the backing or you don't have the experience or the educational qualifications to make this happen. You've got to learn it on the fly.
Yeah.
This is what the podcast series does.
That's
Fantastic.
amazing. And you've got the drive to want to do it, so naturally you'll be able to make a success or at least put all the hard work that it requires into it.
Exactly that.
Well, Steve, thank you for joining us, and we're looking forward to seeing what you'll be bringing for us next month.
Cool. Thanks, guys.